Hey, welcome. So last week our two picks or three picks, but they did very well. You know, S&P 500, NZD, JPY. Of course, the S&P went up. Okay, also driven by Europe doing quantitative easing, right? So this week we got even more better picks now. So since the market has gone up, and you know, we're going to look at other things such as commodities this week. For example, the famous kerbau. Yes, live cattle. It's also kerbau in Malay and also in Tagalog, funnily. And also lean hogs. Hey, don't touch me, I'm Muslim, okay? See you on the inside. We're going to go an analysis of these great tips for you this week. See you in the show, guys. Please note that this show is only for educational purposes. All trades that you see here should be taken first in a demo account and is meant to reduce your learning curve. Having said that, should you want to take real trades, you should consult your financial advisor first. Although I do trade real accounts, I'm not recommending any of these trades for you. It is up to you if you want to follow me and take it in demo accounts. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, welcome. Now, I think this week's theme, really big theme, is about negative interest going down to zero and even beyond zero. And it has been propagated no other than by President Trump. So let's take a look at some news headlines that he's been talking about, because this is going to definitely impact our trading. So here's the news on negative interest rates. See, don't expect to get paid to be paid to borrow money. You know, and Kudlow, false negative interest rate contradicting Trump. So Kudlow is basically one of Trump's advisors here, but Trump really wants negative interest rates. How does negative interest rates policy work? So you see, everything now is about negative interest rates. And how would it actually work? I think you really need to understand this, because this is a big deal if you really want to invest and really make money in this environment. If you don't understand what's going on, you might pick the wrong investment. So the US has never cut interest rate below zero, but such a move has been considered. So, you know, recently, last month, the US cut interest rate for the first time in 10 years. They expected to deliver another interest rate cut. So again, Mr. Trump wants the Federal Reserve to join everyone else in the upside down that is 2019. In fact, Trump was quite angry when Draghi and the ECB reduced interest rates further on Thursday. He basically said, why are we paying interest and the Europeans are not paying any interest? So he said that, again, Fed officials would slash interest rates to zero or below in a tweet on Wednesday. So now, you know, it's tries to guard against growing uncertainty. So it should lower its policy rate change from 1.75 to 2% and around that. So negative rates usually means that it's forcing the banks to actually lend out money, okay? Because if you keep rates, then you get nothing for it. So this supposedly is going to spur the economy. So here you see that, you know, when interest rates go to zero, what are the kinds of asset that would really benefit you? Well, it's Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, not only Bitcoin, I would say gold, and I would also say commodities, because these are real hard assets. Bitcoin, of course, is digital, but it's really digital gold. So again, ECB cuts interest rate and relaunches its bank buying program. That was on Thursday, and why Bitcoin rules in the insane world of negative interest rates. So I suggest that you really get into this, because these are the type of assets that you really want to own in a negative interest rate environment here. Basically Bitcoin, gold, include here also precious metals, and basically commodities. Now, another asset that is bound to go up if we have negative interest rates, because now the rates are going to zero, is basically this. I think stocks could also make a run of going up. And yeah, this is could really bring up the equity market also, although the equity markets are very high now. So you see, everyone is focusing on negative interest rates. So here's a good article here, what to buy in a world of negative interest rates. So again, I'm preparing you for this new world, okay? So let's just go and look at this article. Stocks are overvalued, so you shouldn't buy them. That's hard to argue with again. So negative interest rates are coming. What is going to happen? It's going to become the norm. And yeah, this is the only show that will prepare you for this brave new world that we are going to start to face very, very soon. Because, you know, one of the things that I try to teach you guys here is first, you need to understand markets, okay? So when you understand markets, that's when you then select the instruments. So, you know, last week, I just said to my subscribers that, you know, the markets were going up. We were bound to see the S&P 500 hit 3,000 here. We're going to see it afterwards if my guest did come true. I said the NZDJPY would go up. It was 68 here because, you know, NZDJPY is a very, very high beta currency. It moves up when the market tends to move up. And insofar as Bitcoin is concerned, then I also said that, you know, that Bitcoin should slowly try to break out of this triangle next week, which is this week. So here's the chart for the SPX. As I told you that, you know, it is really bound to hit this high here. It has not hit that high yet. So I think next week we're going to definitely go towards a point where it's going to really hit that high, right? But you saw last week was 2980, and then it went up to 3005 this week. So indeed, that prediction has been proven to be dead right accurate. But please note that when you're doing this, it did go down first, and then it did go up. So you got to really watch out for those temporary drawdowns if you really want to do trades like this. But in the end, I do believe that, you know, it will go that high and it will challenge that high before anything happens. We could see a temporary reversal, or, you know, it might consolidate in that area before it goes up again. And I've said this to my subscribers actually to be ready for this. Let's go to the next one that we had last week, which we picked up, NZDJPY, right? So here's the chart on NZDJPY here. So again, as you can see, it did go to where we wanted it to pretty much go to. And I draw a trend line that we draw last week, right? So we said that this was basically a cup and handle pattern here. Very nice cup and handle pattern that you often see a lot in Forex. So we said if it goes like this, it goes like this, it's bound to go up. So the good thing now that I see, at least from this chart, is that yes, it did try to break out, but then it's consolidating back into this support area now. And if that can hold, it's either going to do that or it's going to go up higher in line with the S&P 500. So it was 68, right? It went up to here, which was about 69.40, was it? So it was a good, yeah, it was a good like 80 pip run there, up there here. Yeah, that's about 69, 67, right? So it's almost 100 pips from where we were, okay? Basically almost 100 pips, and then it has started to consolidate. So that has been proven to be right again. Now let's go on the other chart here, which is BTC USD. I guess you guys, crypto guys, would want to know, hey, where are we going with crypto? So again, as I've mentioned out before, the interesting thing about Bitcoin here is there is this nice triangle. Let's go and look at this triangle here. There is this nice trend line triangle here. There's another triangle here. And what we're doing now is just we're waiting for a breakout here. It's either going to break out or break down. Draw this. Yeah, I kind of like it like that. Break up or break down. But look here, I think it's trying to go up. And why does it go up? I would say if this goes up, then it's because of Trump and negative rates, okay? So negative rates will definitely play a role in driving assets such as Bitcoin, gold, and commodities up. So really this week, I just like to focus. I don't like to look at everything, because if we look at everything, we don't get anything. Okay, we're chasing too many things and we sometimes miss the good opportunities. So for this week, this is the things that I look at. I already said that commodities now really good look good with the relief of trade tensions. I mean, a lot of cotton, okay? I mean, a lot of cotton last week, something like some crazy number like US 1,400 on cotton last week. I already said that UXXX JPY, which could be NZ JPY, is kind of overextended because the markets can pause now. So be careful of that. Having said that, I still think that the XPX is going to challenge 3,040, and XXX JPY could go there and then suddenly show a reversal. Platinum, I'm trying still to short platinum at the top here because, you know, I think, you know, you see silver going down by a lot. I think platinum also owes us a correction. But this week, really, I'm trying to look at copper. It looks like a very, very good short. Now, I think it has gone into a shorting zone, actually. And as far as Forex is concerned, I like the Brazilian real. The Brazilian real, for me, looks very bullish. And when you talk about the Brazilian real, it always impacts sugar, ethanol, and coffee. So I like to look more at sugar and ethanol because these are quite interrelated. And there's another pair that I like to look, which is the CHF or the Swiss franc. I think the Swiss franc is weak the following week, so that should see the USD CHF go up, okay? Because again, franc is weak and USD CHF basically will go up. So, but in order to do that, I think a better pair that we better look at is actually Aussie Chiefs. So, you know, let's go this week and let's go and review this, and then following it, we'll come and review again and really see how accurate my predictions basically have been. So here's the chart on platinum. Okay, so you see the trend line here. That's a weekly trend line. So, you know, if I had my wish, I really wanted to go here and go down. The bad news is that I already see two negative, this is like bearish candles here. So it might go down immediately. But I think this is a game of waiting. Let's go rather than doing this. Let's go now to the daily chart. So we start usually at the top, which is weekly, and then we go down slowly into daily. And then for trading, I basically go into the hourly chart so I can get a better bearing on it. Yeah, so that's how the hourly charts look like. So again, the trend is up here. So if it goes here, then yeah, you might be able to have a good short. Or you look at here, this looks like good zone around 975, but please be careful if you're doing this. Now, for our subscribers, they use options, so that's kind of a different story, but they still need to know this chart, especially this spot chart. Another precious metals, you know, precious metals have had a large run, awesome run recently that I think is bound to go down is XCU, which is copper. So if you look at copper here, it's quite easy, okay, guys? I mean, this is like something easy, especially if you do like our students and you're using options. You can tell now that this is the sell zone, right? So anything into this zone basically deserves a short with a fixed risk, okay? And then just wait it to go down. You know, it could go up something like that and still go down. So I'd be taking a sell on the sell zone here. Remember that this is copper. And of course, copper is correlated to the market. So basically, if we're saying that the SPX is going to go to 340 and reverse down, then I think copper should also reverse down after the markets go there. So, you know, when you play copper, you also have to look at the markets because they're kind of correlated in that sense. So here we see the Brazilian real. Okay, so what I want to show you about the Brazilian real here, it's gone down. It's probably due to go up. But what's really telling here, this is the daily, obviously. What's really telling here is this bullish hammer, okay? So this is basically a bullish hammer pattern. And with the bullish hammer here, we expect this to go up. Now, if you can trade Brazilian real, that's good. But some of you might find Forex very dangerous. So what do? You kind of try to trade commodities that are sold in Brazilian real. And some of these commodities are like sugar, and another one is basically ethanol. So let's go and check out those charts, because this is what I am going to be in this week. Especially, I'm going to focus a lot here on sugar, and I'm going to show you the similarities between the charts. So here you see the sugar. Okay, this is the chart for sugar. This is investing.com. You can go there, get more information. It's a very good site. So you see here sugar. This is the daily chart. And what's really telling about this daily chart, you know, the last time I looked at sugar, it's in the $12 range. So, you know, just draw this trend line here, and voila, you get that. So, you know, it's a very simple pattern that I'm looking at here. If you draw a line here, let me just go draw a line. You know, if you go like that, like that, like that, like that, and you know, this is bound to break. Is it going to go up? I think so. So basically, if you want to be safe, you can try to catch the uptrend here once it breaks this line, or just go and buy here and try to pick a bottom and then stick with it. And this is why I kind of like options for commodities like this. I don't necessarily like spot. Now, something that is really related to sugar is, of course, ethanol. Can you go? So let's just see the chart for sugar here. It's been down to 10, went up to 14, and now it's back down to 1080. So do we see something similar for ethanol? Let's go and see what ethanol is all about, because ethanol is another chart that's basically it's basically denominated in Brazilian real, because it's basically the feedstock is basically sugar. So you can see ethanol went down to around 120, went up to about 160. It's now back down again. So you see the similarities between sugar and ethanol. And what I really like about ethanol here is what I see here is basically a gap. There's basically a gap down here, like here. And then, you know, it should be able to close up the gap, close gap if, in my opinion, if basically if BRL goes up, which it's expected to do. So that's how I would do really the sugar and ethanol trade here. So if you want to get really even more detail than that, what you would do again, I'm looking at sugar, okay? Because to me, sugar and ethanol are basically the same thing. So basically, I want to choose sugar here. Yeah, SB, like special branch, right? It's like the sugar chart here. So I see that on the daily. If I want to trade it, I'd probably go on the hourly and there. And that is what I am seeing on the hourly here. I would like to, yeah. So look here, there's already a bottom here. What I'd like to do, you know, I don't know if this is even going to happen, but an ideal situation were it to fall like this and then go up again there. So definitely what I would do is I just go and wait for the buy zone here. And if I get another one here, touching here, then I would get a double bottom on the daily. And this would really, to me, set up a rocket that's going to go like that. Yeah. This is going to be a very fast rocket because, as you know, that, you know, things such as sugar and also commodities, they tend to move up very quickly. Now let's see another commodity that you guys are interested in, that I made a lot of money on last week, and this has to do again with the trade. Okay, this has to really to do a lot with the trade war more than anything else. And of course, last week Trump kind of issued a peace call on the trade war by delaying tariffs on China, and not many people are convinced on the effectiveness of this, but it really did give markets a booster, especially cotton. Okay, so you'll see cotton here, and yeah, CT2 cotton futures. So you look at that, that was a big gap. Okay, that was a big gap up. Show you exciting, you guys, right? Showing you the hourly, but that was a big gap up here. So this went, yeah, you see this double bottom here, 1, 2, and then look at that gap up here about 59 to around 62. So this gap was caused by the trade war, okay? So it went up because the trade war, there's, I don't know, there's ceasefire on the trade war, whatever you call it. So this was basically the trade war. So what you want to do is some Commodities that are related to the trade war are things like, I believe, cotton. There are also livestock here, like live cattle, right? Because live cattle is exported out to the EU. So if the EU buys more live cattle, it's good for the US. And also hogs, okay? Because hogs, you know, there's swine fever in China, and if China has shortage of hogs, and the US is able to export these hogs to China, then of course that could be better. So again, this is an example of where trade wars really are driving the prices of commodities. So let's see the price on, yeah, you guys want to see the hourly chart right now. Let's go and see live cattle instead. So really, when I do this, you know, I don't really want to go into detail. I kind of try to pick my buys at the double bottom and all that, because sometimes I feel that, you know, you guys are going through too much detail. You might not get into the deal, or you might not get into the trade, which I think is really, really bad, because there is a real opportunity here. So you look at live cattle futures. Is this the daily? Oh my God, just that is such a very volatile chart. Okay, that's just a crazy chart. Yeah, this is the daily, so you can see here the extreme here. Okay, is like 130, it fell to around 100. And look at the gaps here. And there was another gap before that. It was like 105. It fell like to below 100, went down here to 95. This was probably saved by the trade war. And again, supposed to go up here, at least try to close the gap here, or even try to close the gap here for live cattle at least. That's how I would look at it on the bigger perspective. Another commodity that really was the star before the trade war came and basically went into, it became a very real war, right? Before it intensified between China and the US, was actually hogs. So hogs, you see how hogs were like really performing. It's like 52 early in the year, went out to 96. Just look at that, and just look at those hog prices. And then of course, as the trade war intensified, there was a big gap down here, 68. And now basically, you got to ask yourself, if you want to go into hogs, is this a double bottom? Is this a double bottom, or you want to wait? But you can see the gap here. So I just wait for it somewhat to close the gap. And then, you know, you guys can go in. Of course, I can't go in, okay? So try to close the gap. And because I feel that if it does break this, at least this level, which is 68 here, I feel that this thing can even go up and attempt to close the gap here, okay, 76, okay? So I think there is like no man's land there, or at least here. This is like really seriously, guys, this is seriously no man's land. And I think that there's an opportunity here to basically close the gap here, at least in stage one. So stage one, we're gonna close the gap here. And in stage two, we're probably gonna close the gap here. So this is all about closing gaps here. So again, because of the peace, or temporary peace as it may seem in the trade war, hence I think that there is a chance here for livestock, right? Livestock, which consists of cattle and hogs, to actually steal the limelight here. Okay, so you know, in order to get opportunities related to CHF, right? CHF is the Swiss franc. Really, what you want to do is you can look at the euro here and the euro here. This is basically a bearish candle, right? So I don't know, it should have the euro going down next week. So if the euro goes down, then you know the CHF will also go down, and hence USD CHF goes up. So let's see, but I'm not going to trade USD CHF. I have another one that I recommend trading. I want to trade that. So let's see USD CHF. Do you see anything suggesting an uptrend there? So you know, so USD CHF has been going up, it's gone down. If this is a hammer, then it should go up again. But what I really like rather than USD CHF is Aussie CHF, because I don't get all these interactions with the US dollar, which is going to be extremely volatile. And if you look at the daily, rather you look at the weekly. Let's look at the weekly for this pair, which is Aussie CHF. If you look at the weekly here, this is at an interesting place, because this is like a friggin' all-time low. So all I know is this, guys, if it's at an all-time low, then you deserve to trade it up, okay? You really need to really trade this up, because when it moves like a rocket, it is going to really, really move. You know, you will hardly ever get that. And let's go back some more. So you see that, you know, when it comes to this low, it goes a couple of hundred pips up here, okay? When was the time that this happened before? Yeah, this is the all-time low before this. And then look, it rocketed up here, right? And I think we're going to see that again. And if you draw it, yeah, let's go back to the weekly chart. Let's just draw a simple trend line here. Again, guys, I really like simple trend lines. I don't like it to be very, very complicated. So let's go here again. Let's go to back here, and I mean, kind of adjust this thing. So if I were to draw a trend line here, I'll draw it like this. Yeah, so we have a long way to go. And if you draw another trend line here, you'd probably hit it like this. So yeah, this is the probably the other trend line going this way. So yeah, it's probably broken out already. And now it's really time to go up like that. So, you know, what I would expect it to do is probably do something like this. You know, it's going to go up here and then probably going to go correct here and then just move like a rocket up. So this is another potential rocket. The other one that I told you was about sugar, but you really need to be careful on all this. You need to have your money management really, really correct and really managed very, very well. So guys, that's it for today. I hope you really liked this first review, because we get better during every week. We're going to talk about more and more topics, but I try to focus things rather than you guys chasing things. So, you know, one week we might talk more about Forex. Another week we might talk more about cryptocurrency. So again, bye guys. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel if you want more updates on this. On the other hand, you can also subscribe to my Instagram, okay, Jamaah.Vader or Shukri Hamid FX, where you can get really tips. And don't forget to open your coins.ph account down there so that you qualify for the iPhone raffles, okay, the iPhone raffles, which I'm giving out. We're giving away 3 iPhones until my subscriber base improves by many, many thousands. See you guys later, guys, and have a good week trading next week. Bye, guys.